Today's sponsor is Loot Crate. For less than $20 a month, Loot Crate gives the geek in you a special treat every month. Loot Crate is a subscription box service with $40 worth of geek, gamer, and pop culture gear, collectibles, apparel, comics, etc. delivered to your mailbox every month. This month, they're celebrating all the monsters you can fit in your pocket and the ones you need some crazy circle drawing skills to bring to the mortal realm. Whatever the hell that means. This month's crate features an exclusive collectible they're told is, quote, the most important object in pretty much the whole universe, end quote, plus awesome items from Blizzard, Kid Robot, and more. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and when the cutoff happens, that's it, it's over. So go to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the offer code kindafunny to save $3 on your new subscription today. If you didn't know, this is the GameOverGreggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny. You can get the show early by tossing us a few bucks. But if you don't have any bucks to toss us, no big deal. Head over to youtube.com/kindafunny where we post it topic by topic, day by day, until we post the entire show on Friday for free as a video and MP3. Tim.
Yes.
You were the second topic.
Second topic of the day is Snapchat. So here's the deal, guys. I figured it out.
Oh, you did finally.
I
Because
finally
none of us knew what Snapchat was or how to use it.
Here's the biggest thing.
Still don't.
I say I figured it out. Didn't. That's what I figured out. You can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense. Nobody understands how Snapchat works, but that is how you know how to use Snapchat. Is when you realize this more than anyone else. Because then you can just say you do, then everyone fucking believes you.
Gotcha.
It's this magical trick that people play.
I'm torn on this whole Snapchat thing because part of me, of course, has a huge ego and just wants to be big so that I can destroy you all. The other part of me thinks that I've been through that revolution where, like, all of a sudden people were selling things that weren't necessarily backed up by hard analytics, and it never leads to something good. You know? Where, like, people are making a lot of money on Snapchat right now, right? But there's no way to track that engagement, and so you don't really know as a brand if you're actually doing anything, if that money you're spending is doing anything. And that's what used to happen. Like, I've seen that happen at or you'd hear that happen rather, like websites, for instance, where like, oh, we're doing this, you're like, that I don't think you're tracking those views correctly. It's like, doesn't matter, we're charging millions of dollars for it. You're like, what the fuck? All right. It just worries me that a piece of tech like that is out there and being monetized, because like Twitter, for instance, you can see how many followers you have. There are actual metrics. You can see how many people retweet your stuff. You can see how many people are being driven from Twitter to the various links that you're sending them out to, so you can actually judge social engagement. Whereas with Snapchat, people are like, oh, you got to be big on Snapchat. You're like, what does that mean?
So here's the thing. This is what I figured
there's
out.
No way.
There is.
Okay.
There is just the right amount of analytics to make all this make sense. Now, for the people out there that don't know what the hell we're all talking about here, this is all we're talking about, like being able to monetize this. Wow, Greg's getting on Snapchat.
I already Snapchat. No, this is Kind of Funny Vids. Kind of Funny Vids has been on Snapchat and pretty big for a while.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah, see there. I mean, again, Kind of Funny Vids, one of the biggest Snapchat accounts in the world.
Oh, it's huge.
I don't know if
Actually,
you know that.
It goes The Rock, and then Kind of Funny Vids.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the WWE.
We have two friends. We have Harley Plays and Team Snapchat.
That's all you need. That's great. So what's interesting about Snapchat is the fact that publicly you don't see all the numbers and the stats and the analytics and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so to people like us that have been doing the social media thing for a while, we're like, I
need numbers.
I need numbers. I don't understand this, whatever. But you need to throw all that out the window.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I'm jumping on the Snapchat thing now, which granted, I'm late, but I'm early compared to most of the other motherfuckers like us doing this shit, because they're all like, I don't get it. I haven't been out with my friends or my friends' friends or my girlfriend's friends or whatever in like months without constantly, whenever I look over, they're on Snapchat. Like, this is what people are using now. And it's one of those things where we're on Twitter, we're doing Instagram, we're doing all that stuff, but it's like the people are on Snapchat.
This is the people's platform.
Yeah. So it's like, we got to go where they are. You know what I mean? I'm not leaving what else we're doing, but it's like seeing how engaged they are, and they actually are engaged in what they're doing, and they're constantly doing it and using it as a messaging app to their friends. And that's, I think, the power of it. It's like Facebook, where you get your friends involved in it. Twitter is a little bit more like you have conversations.
Right, but so that's what gets me this. So what you're basically saying is this is more of an app for one-to-one relationships or small group relationships, right?
Yes.
Like this is not an app for a business to like we are to market to an
changed it.
audience.
But they've now changed that. So I don't know when this happened. I'm coming in way late, and I've gotten an education from the youth.
Oh,
I went to them.
the 2 Utes.
I've
We need to just
solicited them
hire
for
a bunch of
help.
10-year-olds to run this company.
And that's pretty much what's happening. So I talked to all of them, all of the 10-year-olds. I conducted surveys and I figured stuff out. And I was like, I asked all of them, how do you use Snapchat? And they all told me. And I took all that information and I tried to figure it all out to try to make it make sense.
Of course.
Everyone uses it differently. But the thing is, they all use it the same in some key ways. And what it comes down to, I'm going to educate you guys here.
Thank you. Please
Right?
let everyone out there know how to use Snapchat.
Because I want them all to know how to use Snapchat. Because I'm sure a lot of you are questioning, and I've seen a lot of people tweeting at me like,
Because you cracked
how the fuck do you
Instagram a
use
long
this shit?
time ago. You helped Nick understand it.
Exactly.
If you want to know how to use Instagram, tweet at Tim Gettys and ask him how to use Instagram. He won't tell any of us,
Yeah,
but he
I'll
might tell you.
especially Snapchat. I'm telling you all right now. So, what it comes down to, the core thing of it is it's a messaging app. You can snap at people, just take a picture. What a snap is, it's either it's a video that's up to 10 seconds long or a picture. Both of them, they have to be vertical. So it's a 16:9 aspect ratio. It's 9:16.
Dumb.
They're getting crazy. But what makes it interesting is there's all types of filters and shit you can use on it, just like any other photo app. But this one has geolocation
Locators, yeah.
filters. So depending on where you're at, it has custom filters for where you're at. So you can like show off to your friends, like, oh, cool, look, I'm in Golden Gate Park, or I'm freaking doing whatever the hell. Whatever. That doesn't matter. But these
Not
kids.
telling me on it yet.
No. The kids love it. The kids love it.
Yeah.
That's for them to message back and forth to each other. I have no interest in that.
Cool.
People message me, and I once in a while I look at it and reply and stuff. But there's another thing called stories.
Yeah.
Stories is where things get real interesting. And by interesting, I mean then it just functions like anything we normally do.
Okay.
You post it, people see it.
Right.
You can have 20
looking
your
at Snapchat
stories.
as you're doing this.
Your story is
Taking-
up to 24 hours.
Yeah.
So everything you post within 24 hours stays on your story.
Sure.
And then it eventually just goes away. You can see the numbers of how many people are looking at your stories. So the only analytics we don't get that I wish we got was how many people are following us or are friends with us.
Sure.
You can see all the people that do follow you, but there's no number.
Gotcha.
So
So
I
you have to
guess
count them.
I
You
can
count them
count 'em.
one by one.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm so big on Snapchat that I wouldn't be able to
Oh,
do
no,
that.
it's impossible.
Yeah. So that's the big deal.
Gotcha.
If you want to, join the army and make it even bigger, follow me on Snapchat.
Kind of
Gettys.
funny vids.
Yeah, and kind of funny bits. So you do that, right? But the thing is, the stories, they're actually fun when you look at them in the day, because at the end of the day, if you watch it, if people are posting 4, 5, 6 times a day, you get to kind of see what their day looked like. And what I like about Snapchat is you don't need to put as much thought into it as the Instagram post or the Twitter post. It's not supposed to be clever. I like to try to make them clever every once in a while because I'm that type of guy.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like watching things happen. So earlier today, Kevin was asleep on the floor.
Yeah.
You Snapchatted that.
I did.
You snapped it. They call it Snap, or they call it Snapchatted?
I don't know about
The
that.
SC?
Greg.
You
I'm not.
SC'd it.
The 10-year-olds
You
haven't told me
snitch
that.
it.
They haven't
You
told me.
snitch it.
It's not
Snapchatting
snitching.
this
Snitch
right
it.
now. This is what's happening. This is being Snapchatted.
So you got to
No, we
figure
all
all that
started
stuff out.
Snapchatting.
But there's the My Stories, right? And then you start following other people's stories, and it gets addicting. I've been checking my Snapchat constantly, just following my friends, seeing what they're up to, and all that.
So you
stuff.
can follow people.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where the stories come into play.
I see.
Because you follow people
How do
and you
I
get to
follow
see the
you
stories.
right now? I'm
You-
going to follow you right now.
You can search by username and type in Tim Gettys.
Okay.
Now, there's another thing you do. There's this weird little ghost thing
Yeah.
with the QR code.
Yeah.
If you screenshot that QR code, you can automatically follow the people.
You can send. We can tweet that out, right?
Yes.
You can tweet out your little thing, and they do it.
And so it's fun. There's this whole like virtual reality thing to it. And it's cool.
Can you have virtual sex in it?
Of course.
Yes. And so that's when the messaging comes in. You go back to that, Nick.
I'm
That's when.
sold.
That's when.
So
all the
like you
dick pics
send,
come.
I screen cap that,
Yes.
and if I tweet that out,
people can just
they screen cap it. What do they do?
they'll just if they download the picture or whatever or screen cap it, you can just add. There's a thing that says add by QR code or whatever, and you can just it automatically
Are
adds.
you
it.
just Tim Gettys? Is that what you are?
Yes.
Kind of funny vids has a score 3. What does that mean?
So the score, that's where things get really interesting.
You said it's gotten really interesting 4 times or something.
The score means absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I don't understand it. Now, here's the thing. To be fair, guys, honestly, I don't get this. I don't get this at all.
Shush,
None of this
you said
makes
you're an
sense.
expert. You're an expert.
But this number thing, the score, I think that's the amount of people that have sent you Snapchats.
Oh.
So as far as I'm concerned, that number means nothing. Like, who cares? Right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So that's dumb. That number's dumb.
What, Kevin's got something? Kevin's chiming in? Kind of funny vids. You're stupid. Just letting you know.
It's officially stupid. Kevin is stupid. But now, there's another level to this that is my personal favorite thing about Snapchat and what I actually have been using the app a lot to engage with myself in terms of content that I like. There's this thing called the Discover tab. The Discover tab is a bunch of brands. There's only like 12 brands at a time. And they're always like the top brands in the whatever given sector they're in. So BuzzFeed's one
I've
of
seen
them.
that,
ESPN's one of them, whatever. Cosmo Magazine's one of them. And every day, there's 10 new snaps that you can go through. And it's custom content that's premium made just for Snapchat that you can watch there. And all it is just like, it's essentially animated headlines and thumbnails.
Okay.
So it's awesome. You can kind of just skip through it real fast. Some of them have like videos that can play that are up to a minute long.
God, BuzzFeed, man.
So there's a lot going on. And
They're
BuzzFeed's
smart.
killing it.
BuzzFeed is here's what BuzzFeed is. BuzzFeed's like the junk food of the internet, right? You're just like, I don't need any of this, but it's fun while it's lasting. There's an article I'm reading right now called "A Man is Creating Miniature Art for Every Day of the Year," and it's amazing. And you know what? It is amazing.
Yeah.
God damn it, BuzzFeed, you got me.
They got it.
So I mean, this is cool to me though, because then this is just for sheer entertainment, right?
That-
Like
and
I'm
that's
just
what I'm saying.
just blading through BuzzFeed. But then, do they have to make this every day?
Yes.
So they have to make 18.
There's somebody who's just Snapchatting.
So, well, the people that are on the Discover tab, like that is such a lucrative position. Like you're not going to get there unless you're making real deals, right? They probably have teams working
Kevin? What did you
strictly
figure
on
out?
Snapchat.
It's kind of funny viz, but it says
You motherfucker.
Oh, interesting. Did you see the one I
son
just
of a
put up?
bitch.
It says you suck. It says Kevin sucks, and it's a photo of you, and I put little feet on your balls.
So they just added a new feature where you can put emojis on your Snapchat, so you can kind of like
So how
put
do I-
emoji faces over Nick's face and do all this stuff.
Yeah, I did it to you
This type
already.
of stuff. It's great. And then also the oldest thing for Snapchat is that you can draw on your pictures. So that's when things get real fun. A couple days ago, there was a picture of Kevin. I drew a dick on it, and
Nice.
that was great. It was
People
classic.
loved it.
But how do I follow these people?
You just search for them, and then you add as a friend.
This sounds
Oh,
like
so I
this.
can
I
add
got to be
BuzzFeed?
honest with you. This sounds like the stupidest fucking thing. I was just reading about them because I want to know more about them as a company, and it's huge. It's huge. I mean, their numbers are huge. They make no money. They have, which is every fucking company in Silicon Valley. They have through Series C funding, so they've gotten funding like 4 times at this point, rounds of funding. So they have money. Doesn't seem like they're making any profit. Doesn't seem like this can have any profit.
This is actually really fucking fun.
No, it's stupid. I don't like it.
No,
at
this
all.
is this is.
Discover
I mean,
stuff.
No, Snapchat. I don't. I've tried before to get on the train, and I just can't do it.
Yeah,
It just
my
seems
answer-
stupid and fleeting.
my answer to Snapchat is no. Like,
Colin, to
No,
be fair,
listen-
your answer to everything is
that's
no.
not true at all. There are social networks with utility, and those are the ones that last, right? Facebook has been around for 12 years, which is ancient, and it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. You know, Instagram is relevant only because it's obviously its own thing, but also Facebook owns it, so it's not going anywhere. Twitter is going to probably truncate at some point. Their stock is in the toilet, but Twitter has utility. Twitter, out of all of them, has the most utility, and so I think that's why it's useful. At some point, like, what's funny about all of these different things, whether it's Vines, which are kind of, you know, or Periscope, or all these things that are either tangentially or intimately related to another social network, or something like Snapchat, which is just like fucking nonsense, but something that could theoretically be done on something that already exists, is like there's all of these existing platforms that already are dominating, and they should try to fold each other in so that there's more utility. Like, this sounds fucking stupid.
So, but
no, not
See,
no,
until Tim just described it to me, I would have agreed with you. But now I kind of get it. Not from the personal standpoint, but from the story standpoint, I can understand, like, from a place like BuzzFeed, where you're just basically taking your content and you're just delivering it to the audience in a different manner. Like, if you go through BuzzFeed, it's pretty cool. It's just it's each article, but it's done at a vertical scale, and you can just you're basically looking through top stories.
Well, that's so those aren't stories. Those are that's the Discover tab.
Right.
And the Discover tab, I mean, that's just like premium content. Like you'd be searching on anything.
Sure. But for you, I just looked through yours and I was like, oh, I get it. I just seeing what Tim's doing today.
Yeah.
And it's pictures and fun, and it's for the sheer entertainment.
And so
aspect
what
of
you're
it.
saying about, like, why don't we just fold this into something else? I mean, I totally get you. I mean, I'm right there with you. And, like, I agree that, like, this is dumb. But the difference is people are engaging with it. And, like, people like dumb things.
No, I know they do, but I just and it's such a curmudgeonly, you know, predictably for me thing to say, but it's just like we need, like, Greg's just been on his phone the entire segment messing around with this thing. It's like, do we need more examples of people like just needing to be on their phone all the time? Like, put your fucking
No,
phones
we
down.
don't need that.
And
And-
like to me, it's just like I think Twitter. When I tell people on Twitter, I still think Twitter is exceptional in what it is because they're gonna have they're still having a hard time monetizing it, and who knows what the company's gonna look like. I assume that they're gonna be sold at some point, but it's a news feed. It is what you want it to be, and everyone's like, "Oh, I like Instagram," and I'm like, "You can put a picture on Twitter," and people are like, "Oh, I like Vine," or whatever. And I'm like, "You could put video on Twitter." Like all of this stuff can already be done.
Right.
And we're already there.
Well,
and it's just like, what is the point?
Thing that they're not already there, though. And that's the thing. I saw some stat about Twitter where it's like there was a survey of like hella adult males, and there's something like 90% of them are on Facebook, and like 13% are on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're not there,
I'm saying we as media consumers, I would assume most of our people are on one of these networks or whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand. Like, I feel like there's too much. I guess what it comes down to is this: there's way too much vanity in all this shit. Like people are just fucking obsessed with themselves, and I'm sick of it. I really am. Like, I'm so fucking sick of it. Mm-hmm. Like it's not all like. It just bothers me so much that like none of these things have utility. Like none of them are useful. It's just a way for you to be about yourself. That's it. And interact with other people that are about themselves. Like I like Twitter because it's like, oh, I'm thinking this, and here's a picture, and oh, I look at my thing, and Politico said this, and the New York Times says this, and all these kinds of. At least it's useful and it's enlightening. It can be as enlightening or not as enlightening as you want it to be.
So
but there's a possibility. I don't know how valuable a picture or a 10-second video.
But look at the Discover tab. Like that's the thing. Is like it is that, but it's curated that, and it's like really like well presented information.
Yeah, but I feel like that's shoving a square peg into a round hole. You know what I mean? Like I feel like looking at this, like the fact that everything disappears is just showing you that it's fleeting and doesn't matter.
That's really weird to me too. Because I remember when we were in Atlanta, someone recorded a video of me on this for their friend, and I'm like, "Oh, you should send it to me later." He's like, "Oh, it gets deleted after 24 hours." I'm like, "What the fuck is the point of this?"
And so that's all stupid, but that's why they're so engaged. And here's the thing: I'm seeing a lot is like I put stuff out on other stuff, and I know the numbers that I get. I put stuff out there, the numbers are like 5 times as much. And that's just because the people are like, they want to see it. And they're finding a reason to come back every day and see what's going on and look at it. And it's entertainment at the end of the day. These people are being entertained. I'm being entertained looking at the stuff, And it's
this ESPN, I'm on the Discover for ESPN. It's actually pretty sweet. Like, you know what I mean? Just
the Discover tab is dope. That's actually something that I'm not going to start using.
So here's the reason I'm starting to support Snapchat is one day Discover is going to be for everybody. One day I'm going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be an option that people can do. I guarantee you, they're gonna make profiles.
I mean, these companies have to be paying to be in the Discover tab. I have to imagine because there's no ads being run that I'm seeing.
It's just so. This society is getting boiled down into smaller and smaller bits and the smaller and smaller piece of information. It's just infuriating. Like we've gotten to the point. I was just looking at Greg going through the ESPN stuff. Like we can't even sit down and watch a fucking full highlight anymore. Now we just need like this one home run, and that's it. And that's the news of the day is the home run in the game, the 9-inning game. Well, like I don't know, man. It's just I'm frustrated for 2 different reasons about this. Is one, like there's too many of these things. They can't all survive.
That's my big problem. There's way too much shit.
And I was reading when I was on my phone, I was just reading about them about their valuation. They're valued between $10 and $20 billion. In what fucking universe, is this thing worth $10 to $20 billion? This is why everyone looks at Silicon Valley sometimes and they're like, is anyone making anything? Like, does anyone have anything you can hold and touch? Like even when Apple is going down and I mean they're fine, but like their stock today like really took a huge tumble. Twitter, which is a ubiquitous platform that people respect, is going down. Facebook obviously got fucking pummeled when their IPO came out, and like these are real companies, that like have existed for a long time. And I just look at these new companies coming up, and I'm like. The reason Uber is so fascinating, and Uber is the ultimate unicorn company because it's worth $50 billion and it's still private, is that that's a service. They're not going anywhere. They're going to take over. They're going to have their own autonomous cars one day and stuff like that. And then I look at something like Snapchat, worth between 1/5 and 2/5 as much as Uber, and that's it. It's pictures and videos that are deleted after 24 hours.
Yeah,
but the people that there's audience, the targeted demographic is engaging with constantly day
here's
to day.
You have to think about this though. It's like it's essentially, and this is what I see more and more of, right? Where 5 years ago I used to see everyone looking at their phone, and I'd be like, they're probably playing a game, right? They're playing. No, I was gonna say like Words with Friends or something like that, right? Where like they're playing an app, they're playing a game on their phone. That's just to waste time, right? It's the entertainment value of it. Now people, I think, have transitioned over to the Snapchats of this isn't necessarily where they're getting their news from. It's just fun. It's just a distraction while I'm waiting in line at Starbucks. And that's the scary thing for me.
The thing for me is I feel like I have enough of the distractions.
Yeah, but you are also a 35-year-old man.
Sure, very true. I'm ingrained with Twitter. I like Instagram fine.
You like all those things. You like to be able to message. This is a very, from what I can glean, kind of more of a passive experience where you're just kind of following people. It's similar to Facebook, right? Where you're going down your Facebook feed and just seeing what's going on in your friends' lives. I kind of get it now, but it's not. I mean, it's like any other social media. You can use it for information.
Are you going to try to use it now?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to use it now. I mean,
No, so the key
what's
to-
crazy is I
would not recommend you guys using it, and I say
fuck
that
you, man.
Yeah,
I'll do what I
Tim wants
want.
to be all
potentially.
big.
Fuck you.
No.
Tim wants to be big on Snapchat.
No, because here's you specifically
big on Snapchat.
because
You're old.
you need to do it a lot. Like this isn't like
Yeah, I know.
Instagram or
That's the
Twitter
problem, yeah.
where it's like a couple posts a day or like a post or two a day are fine. With Snapchat, it's about 6 a day. It's about
I can do that.
throughout the day. Nick,
I just did 3
Write a
while we were
tweet.
sitting here.
yeah, I know. But
I look
like,
at your Twitter feed and I wrote all your tweets, so you might want to.
I
the
read
next thing is like you need to
plenty of tweets.
And what makes Snapchat different, just like all of them suck. Every social media sucks unless you make it good. And I think that's the thing with this is it's like you
It
need
feels
to
like-
curate and make content specifically for it, and then it's good.
It feels like Snapchat is like a step away or 2 steps away from evolving to a form that's like awesome for everybody. And that's what I see when you're talking about like the Discover tab will one day be for everybody and stuff like that. It's like that's exciting, but then why wouldn't you want to get in now and lay down the groundwork, right? And it's like when I didn't do it with Twitter or YouTube or Instagram. You know what I mean? Like I got on all those platforms late.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I just to me it's I get we all succumb in social media to our own vanity, right? It's about your brand or whatever. I hate that word, but it's about whatever it is. And so I try to use these platforms to be at least somewhat interesting, if not informative at times too,
Sure.
where it's like I'm really uncomfortable at the end of the day with things being about me. I don't like it, and I want it to be about more than me or more than what I say. So I try to link out, a political story or say something meaningful. And sometimes I'll say awful and stupid things too, to be funny or whatever, because everyone has that. And that's when you succumb to kind of the vanity of like, well, this is funny and I'm going to share it with my friends or whatever. But I feel like if social media really began with things like Friendster and LiveJournal and stuff. But if you really identified as starting in some sort of embryonic state with Facebook, what's happened is what Facebook is today is the broadest of social media platforms, and everything's it's a upside down pyramid. Everything's just gotten fucking funneled down into just fucking incomprehensible nonsense at this point. Like Instagram to me, I respect it, and I know people love it, and that's fine, and I'm happy about it. I'm like, what is the point? It's Twitter, but you can't say anything on it. You know what I mean? Like on Twitter, you can post
You
a
can
picture
say
and
more,
post.
but you can say more than 140 characters on Instagram.
Sure, but you have to make pictures, or people like type on their notepad and then take pictures of it and put it up or something like that. Like I see a lot of athletes do that kind of
Well,
stuff
you
on
can say
Instagram.
the
on
caption
Twitter,
if you
mainly.
want.
That's Twitter. Yeah, on Instagram, you can fucking write an essay. And
Well, I know on the comment, but I see like
caption.
I see a lot of like people like Amy Schumer like released something a while ago and did something like that when she got in trouble. The Instagram to me is just like, okay, so like we took Facebook, and then Twitter's like, okay, we're a small, say what you need to say, Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And then Instagram's like, we're taking out all the text, basically, it's pictures only.
Right.
And then Snapchat's like, okay, we're gonna have pictures and videos and we're deleting them. And so it's like, what the like to me, I know it's a thing where I'm like, I'm just getting old. And I don't I don't understand. But like to me, I want these things to have utility. If I'm gonna have this, everyone's obsessed with these fucking things.
Right.
And at least I want, if I'm on there and I'm on Twitter,
He's
I'm like,
pointing
okay,
to his
maybe
phone
I'm
for everyone listening.
My phone actually.
maybe
Don't lie. Be a journalist.
maybe I'm learning something, or I don't know. It's just to me, I'm like, I just feel like it's just too. Why don't we like? And it's not up to us. It's really up to the companies. Maybe it's a failing of these companies. Clearly there's a market for Snapchat. It's just like when I see like, okay, are they going to be around in 5 years? Do they have any money? Like Twitter has never made a fucking cent. So like how, and they're worth way more than money. So it's like how much can you possibly make at this point? Before you need to start showing returns. Like what is your burn rate and all these kinds of things. In other words, I feel like people have these great ideas but they're becoming more and more reductive. And I really it's the same reason I hate fucking cell phone games. I like utility and depth.
Yeah.
And like we're getting further and further away from that salient point where things were being used for good, and now they're just being used like this new technology. This Snapchat, for instance, is just like, okay, now it's clearly I don't use it. I don't understand. I'm not judging it in a way like where people shouldn't use it or whatever. I'm just saying like it doesn't resonate with me, and it's sad to see something like that's so promising, like Twitter, in my opinion, have to compete with something that doesn't match it on a utility basis, And for me, Twitter is
competition, though. I think it's just there's just different shit to do. And what you're saying about it being the pyramid, it's like I just think that it's less that and it's more, there's a bunch of shit, do whatever you want. Like, we've hit that point where it's just like, there's hella shit.
Yeah.
What are your friends doing?
Audiences are all fragmented. There is no longer when everybody was on Facebook and that's
Or
how you could
I
talk
think
to everybody.
MySpace was the real thing. There was the first one of where it really became a who you friends with and commenting and being public about who you're friends with, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, there's Friendster and there's all that stuff, but it was different.
It's so funny, MySpace, man. And I think this is what I react to too, Colin, because I'm of both worlds on this one too. Is that part of me is like, yeah, we are just being old, and that younger kids are just going to be picking up these apps as they roll out, and there's going to be something after Snapchat that even those kids aren't going to get.
In like 3 months,
in
there
3
will
or
be.
4 months, or maybe a year, something else is going to be big, and the people that are on Snapchat are like, that's dumb. I don't know what the hell that thing is, and then all the new kids are going to be like, Snapchat's stupid. That's for old. That's for like 18-year-olds. That's dumb. I'm 13. I use googie goo goo. You know, it's not even going to be like a word you can say, because words that you can say aren't cool. Okay, this word has to be inaudible. You can't even pronounce the fucking thing. But at the same time, you know, these. I think I lost my goddamn train of thought again. I'm dying here. I'm dying. Facebook for me has had sort of a resurgence where I moved away from that platform for a very long time because, like you're talking about, I still look at that platform as people use it the exact same way they use Snapchat, right? Where it's just a bunch of people posting a bunch of stuff about their lives, and sometimes people care and sometimes people don't. And it's more for entertainment value than it is for anything else, really. But some people use it for news and some people use it for entertainment. Recently, though, I've been caught every single time I open my fucking Facebook app. I'm there for like 20 minutes, and it's because of Facebook video. It's because of these, and I'm like, and I started looking at the view counts because they're smart. They put just the view count, no like, dislike bullshit. It's just views. 21 million views on the last one I watched, 13 million views on the next one. And I'm watching half the videos before I realize there's fucking sound. I can click on the thing and I can actually hear what they're saying. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fascinating.
Well, that's about knowing where you're putting stuff, because so many of these videos, they're designed the content around not needing sound because it auto plays without the sound in the beginning.
Smart.
So they catch you, and then it's like, oh, cool. So that's why there's a lot of subtitles and there's a lot of like things going on.
I'm telling you right now, I think Facebook is I think they've got something with Facebook video. I think they know they have something with Facebook video, and they're being smart right now by getting everyone addicted to it before they try to heavily monetize it. But I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, they're
They
killing
got a
us
lot
too.
they need to figure out with that shit. But
Yeah, but how hard is it, right? You click on the video, you get an ad.
no, but they need to figure out the whole. They need a content ID system.
They need a
'Cause right
content
now
ID,
it's
and they
like-
need to. Can you search Facebook video?
No, I mean that's
the
the thing. They
problem.
need a hub and they need a content ID system, because right now all those 21 million view videos are stolen things from other people.
Oh, that was a big. That's a big issue right now, especially on other platforms. Any platform really that's not YouTube.
Yeah.
There was a couple of week and a half ago. This guy named, and this is his name.
Oh, Fat
The
Jew.
Fat Jew.
Yeah, the Fat Jewish, or the Fat Jew, I think is his name. He's the Fat Jewish on Instagram. Got pinched for stealing all of his stuff.
He's been getting yelled at about that forever.
It
Yeah, him
finally
and that
came-
guy fuck Jerry too.
Yeah, I mean that's and that's one of those things where I follow those guys, and I know
You're part of the problem.
I know better than to do that, but I just didn't realize that I assumed he just had a small team of people working for him that were going out and doing these memes every day.
Really?
I mean, it didn't occur to me.
Tim,
Like,
he's
I
got a
would
very
look-
old school sense of thinking over
No,
here.
but,
Nick's
like, I
oh,
would-
he's got a content creation.
It doesn't. It wouldn't occur to me that someone would form a lucrative business stealing other people's images.
Wow.
And it didn't occur to me because I would have thought that person would have been caught a long time ago with the way
Yeah.
the internet polices itself. Because the internet's like, if you do something wrong, you're found out immediately, right? And I heard about that a long time ago, and it wasn't until like 6 months later where I heard about it again, but this time on like big podcasts and big news media outlets. That's shocking to me. What are you doing over there? You kissing the dog?
No, I was having to stare down with him.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a huge deal. But Facebook, I think, is still going to remain a pretty dominant platform. Snapchat, I'm sure it'll be around. I'm surprised that Instagram's still around. To be honest, I'm surprised
Really?
that Vine's still a thing. I'm surprised that any of these things are.
But see, that's the thing. We're all surprised there are things because we don't use them the way we use Twitter.
We are the Twitter and
know?
YouTube generation,
Yeah,
right?
because the people that are into Instagram, it's like, oh my God, they're getting so many views, so much engagement, so much money to be made there. There's so much happening there, so much quality too for if they're doing that,
But that's the thing, like just looking through that Discover tab, and I'm like, I get this now. This is just a different way to view content, right? For ESPN, for the 5 seconds I spent with BuzzFeed,
It's
where I'm looking at
reductive
it.
though, man.
It is and it's not, right? It is.
But
It is
doesn't need to be,
actually. If
'cause
you look through that
those
story,
aren't short videos.
If you look through the story, those articles are actually a phenomenal. That's actually a
full
pretty
articles.
cool way to display an article So instead of blading this way, you're just going up and you're just reading the article like this, which is
I agree with you
awesome.
that it's
Weird.
reductive, but I think it's a great entry point. I don't watch ESPN like you do on a daily basis, right? I go there for shows I want to see for certain things, right? But I would sit there and like, oh, these are great highlights that are short, and like I'm on the bus, I'm waiting for the train. Yeah, I'd page through it when I'm done. If
Yeah.
I could get into my rotation of Reddit and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and see what's happening on the page, and then over to the Kind of Funny forums, and then you know what I mean.
It's just the ADDization of the internet.
That's
and
a big
and
deal.
it's as someone who creates content and used to write and do all this kinds and still writes and we'll do all those things. I just hate that we were talking about Twitter's character count. I always thought that was actually really novel because it's like say what you need to say.
Yeah.
And I was like
Be succinct.
exactly, and I always love that when someone takes a picture on Instagram and then I go on their Twitter and it's on their Twitter and then I go to Facebook and it's on their Facebook. It's like, what is the point of all this? Like, what is the point of this? At the end of the day, again, these are vanity things and we all have them out there as our personal brands. But I just feel like we have to kind of dig down and think about the things that are most useful to us as people and also the most useful to our audience out there. And I just feel like, yeah, it's just getting so reductive now that it's actually these kinds of things are actually annoy me. Like where I'm like this,
I
like
mean-
this is too much for old man Colin to handle.
I was gonna say I can't imagine Colin being
Yeah.
annoyed by something the kids are.